On a bright Sunday morning, warm sunbeams peeked through the window of a cozy treehouse. Bernie the bear opened his eyes with a very big smile. Today was the most special day of the year. It was Bernie's birthday, and he woke up feeling light as a feather.
Bernie waddled over to the wooden calendar on his wall. He gazed at the big red heart drawn around today's date. Today is going to be the best day ever, Bernie cheered. He started imagining all the wonderful surprises his friends must have planned.
Bernie put on his favorite orange scarf and stepped out into the deep green forest. He expected to see his friends waiting by the trail with balloons and songs, but the forest was unusually quiet. There was no one by the sparkling stream, and the flowery meadow was completely empty.
Suddenly, Pip, the little sparrow, fluttered down from a high branch. Pip looked like he was in a very big hurry to get somewhere. "Wait, Pip, do you know what today is?" Bernie asked hopefully. But Pip just chirped and acted like he had completely forgotten.
Pip whispered, "Bernie, I have an urgent errand at the Misty Mountains, but since you're free, why don't you visit old Ollie at the library?" Bernie was confused. The Misty Mountains? Where is everyone going? He began to feel that this birthday was turning into a strange mystery. Bernie made his way to the Great Oak Library. Inside, old Ollie the owl was busy organizing a mountain of dusty books. "Ah, Bernie, you're just in time," Ollie said without looking up. "Could you help me move this heavy shelf? I think an ancient map fell behind it." As Bernie pushed the shelf, he found a weathered golden map. It showed a path leading all the way to a hidden cave. At the bottom, a note read, "A priceless treasure awaits the one with a joyful heart on their special day." Bernie's eyes widened with wonder. The quest had begun. Bernie crossed a small wooden bridge over a bubbling brook, where little silver fish jumped to say hello. He hiked through fields of wild lavender that smelled like honey. It felt as if nature itself was cheering him on. As he approached the Misty Mountains, the air grew chilly and a thick white fog rolled in. He could barely see his own paws. "I won't give up," Bernie whispered to himself. "This treasure must be the best birthday gift ever." As he approached the Misty Mountains, the air grew chilly and a thick white fog rolled in. He could barely see his own paws. "I won't give up," Bernie whispered to himself. "This treasure must be the best birthday gift ever." The inside of the cave was more beautiful than any dream. Crystals on the ceiling sparkled like 1,000 stars in the night sky. It was so quiet that Bernie could hear the rhythmic drip-drop of water hitting the stones, sounding just like a soft lullaby. At the very end of the tunnel stood a massive stone door with a sun-shaped keyhole, but Bernie realized he didn't have a key. "Oh no, how will I ever get inside now?" Bernie sighed, looking around the cold stone floor for any clues. Suddenly, a familiar chirp echoed through the cave. Pip the sparrow flew in, carrying a shimmering golden key in his beak. "Happy birthday, Bernie! This was a test of your courage," Pip chirped, dropping the sun key into Bernie's trembling paw.
Bernie placed the key into the lock and turned it. Click! The heavy stone door began to slide open with a deep rumble. A brilliant golden light poured out from behind the door. Bernie squinted his eyes, his heart racing with joy.
"Surprise!" A chorus of happy voices rang out. Bernie stepped out into a secret, sun-drenched garden hidden behind the mountain. All his friends, the rabbits, the squirrels, the deer, and old Ollie were standing there with the biggest smiles Bernie had ever seen.
In the center of the garden was a long table overflowing with treats, fresh berries, apple pies, and sparkling juice. And right in the middle sat a giant golden honey cake topped with the biggest strawberries in the forest. Everyone sang the birthday song, their voices harmonizing beautifully in the secret garden. Bernie closed his eyes and made a wish that they could all be this happy forever. Then he blew out the candles with one big puff.
As the sun began to set, painting the sky in pink and purple, Bernie sat on the soft grass and shared his honey cake with everyone. He realized that the priceless treasure wasn't gold or jewels. It was the love and kindness shared between friends. As the silver moon rose over the trees, the long day of adventure finally began to catch up with the little bear. Bernie gave Pip and Ollie a big fuzzy hug. "Thank you for the best birthday ever," he whispered sleepily. Back in his treehouse, Bernie tucked himself into his warm, soft bed. He drifted off to sleep with a heart full of joy. The forest was quiet once more, and Bernie slept soundly, knowing he was the luckiest bear in the whole wide world.